I love a good ragu, and today that's what I'm going to share with you. I've kind of perfected my recipe. It's pretty much traditional, except for maybe 2 little tweaks, but I think those 2 little tweaks that I do here really work. It's really just a perfect ragu that you can have with your family, and it's just kind of like a go-to recipe that you can go to all the time and count on it and know that it's going to be good. So what we'll do first is I'll go through all the ingredients, show you guys what we're going to be working with, and then we'll put it together. So liquids, we have some white wine. We're using a dry white wine, Pinot Grigio, tomato passata, vegetable broth, milk. Vegetables, we're using carrots, celery, onion. We have a knob of butter, bay leaves, nutmeg. And for meats, we're using a mix of beef, pork, and pancetta. And that's really it. And it's just all about putting these layers of flavor together, and we're gonna make a good ragu. First, we'll start chopping up the veg. You don't want chunks of carrots or celery in the sauce. Usually I go for a rough chop, but we want these finely chopped. All right, so this looks pretty good. We'll set this aside and we'll chop up the pancetta. We're gonna go for cubes. And this is gonna be our first level of flavor in this sauce. Now it's time to put it together. So we got this pan on low heat. We're gonna cook the pancetta low and slow. We want the fat to kind of render out of it, and we don't wanna burn it, so we have the pan on low. You almost wanna put it into a cold pan just so that it'll slowly heat up, because you don't want crispy pieces of pancetta in here. All right, so this has been cooking for about 5-10 minutes. You could see the fat, the oil in the pan. So now we're gonna add in some butter. We'll let that melt. And if the pancetta stuck to the pan, the butter would kind of help almost deglaze it in a way. Now that the butter's fully melted, we'll add in the veg. We'll stir this up, and we'll saute this for a little bit. All right, so you can see the vegetables are starting to soften up. The onions are pretty translucent. We're gonna turn up the heat, and we're gonna add in the meat. We're using a mix of beef and pork. I really like the way these 2 meats work together in this. So we're just gonna kind of mix this all up. And like I said, we turned up the heat. We wanna brown this a little bit. So this looks pretty good. You could see the meat starting to pick up some color. We'll add in some salt and pepper. You can kind of add as much as you want. Mix this all up. Now we're gonna add in some white wine, and we'll let this cook out. So we wanna get all the wine to cook out, and if you kind of pull the meat aside, and you can kind of see how much wine you have left in here. You still have a little more in there. So we're gonna let this cook for a few more minutes. All right, so the wine is fully evaporated. We're gonna add in some tomato paste. We're gonna go in with maybe 2 tablespoons, 2 heaping tablespoons. We'll mix that in. And you can kind of see now the meat is picking up that red tint from the tomato paste. And this, actually doing this right now with the heat on high, it creates a nice layer of flavor in here. So definitely don't skip this step. Cook this on high for 2 minutes. All right, so you hear that? Now you kind of know it's ready. It's almost borderline wants to start burning. Now we're gonna add in some passata. It's just a unseasoned tomato puree. We'll stir this up. And we'll add in about 2 cups of vegetable broth. I know the traditional recipe calls for beef broth, but beef broth definitely becomes overpowering in this, and the vegetable broth kind of lightens it up. That's the one little change or little tweak I made in this traditional recipe, but I think it really works really well in this. So we'll mix this up. We're gonna get this nice and hot. While that's working, I'm gonna add in some bay leaves and a pinch of nutmeg. The nutmeg gives that little flavor, and that's that magic when you eat something good and you taste something that's a little bit what is that flavor? You're not sure what it is, and that's kind of what the nutmeg does. We'll stir this up. We're gonna turn the heat down, and we wanna let this just kind of bubble, for 2 hours. Pop, 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 pop. All right, we'll put a cover on it, and we're gonna let it bubble for 2 hours. I guess maybe every 20 minutes, check on it, give it a stir, make sure it's not sticking. And yeah, so 2 hours. So it's been about an hour. I wanna show you like how much liquid is left in here. So you can see there's still a decent amount of liquid left in here, but it definitely has some more cooking to go. Now if like you accidentally like turn up the heat too high and you see that you're cooking it too fast, you could obviously go in, add a little more tomato passata, a little more vegetable broth. At an hour, it should look like this. That's it. We'll let it cook for another hour. All right, so now it's been 2 hours. Let's check it out. This looks great. You can see most of the liquid is gone. The meat is actually starting to break apart. You don't even see the vegetables in here. The vegetables are pretty much blended into the sauce. So now we're gonna add in 1 cup of warm milk. We'll stir this in. You can kind of see the color in here. It's definitely like, has more of like an orange tint to it. And that's what you want. All right, so now we're gonna let this cook for another half hour. So it's been a half hour. Let's check it out. This looks great. I'm gonna take out the bay leaves. I got 2 in here. All right, so now we'll give it a little taste test. Wow. Very good. So now you have some different options. You can either throw pasta right in here, which I don't really recommend doing, or you can do what we're about to do, is bring it together in a frying pan so that the sauce could really get into the pasta and then throw a little on top. So we're gonna set this aside. And if you wanted, like you could make this the day before, you could put it in the fridge and the flavor will even deepen overnight and taste even better the next day. So we're gonna set that aside. We're gonna get some pasta water going. And I'm gonna show you how I like to bring it together. If you were in a restaurant and you ordered this dish, this would be the same way that they would bring it together. Why not try to recreate that experience? All right, so we'll drop in the pasta. We're using tagliatelle. This works really nice in this. Now we'll let this cook al dente. All right, so we got like a 3-pan situation going on here. So while the pasta's cooking, I wanna show you this. And you can really see the sauce in here. There's really not much liquid in here. So like the meat is essentially the sauce, and that's what you want. You don't want like a watery ragu. You could see the colors in there. It's got like that orange color. I know I said it a few times. And I mean, it's really good, really good. You definitely wanna make this recipe. All right, so the pasta's ready. Let's get this thing on like a low heat. And we're gonna put a scoop of the ragu in here. Yeah, a few scoops. Now it's still nice and hot. And if you were reheating it, obviously using it the next day, this would heat it up. And we're gonna add the pasta in. And I'm gonna throw the pasta in so that some of the water gets in there and loosens up the sauce. And I'm making a portion here for me and the camera lady. As you can see, there's still a whole lot more ragu in here. So if you were following this recipe for your family, you could feed a lot of people. So we'll mix this up. If you want, you can add a little bit of pasta water just to kind of lighten it up. And now you can see like the pasta is kind of taking on that color. You can see the meat is kind of getting in there. That's exactly what you want. We'll toss this up. That's really it. You can see that. Beautiful. We'll plate these up, twirl it in. And now we'll top them off with a little more ragu. Yeah. Now that's how you make a ragu. And that's really it. I mean, that's really it. I mean, it definitely took some time, 2.5, 3 hours, but it's totally worth it. And you could see it. I'll kind of get in here just to show you how good it is. Look at that. It's perfect. It's perfect. There's not a lot of ingredients in it, but it's just got so much flavor. That pancetta, all the layers of flavor really come through in the end. You know, in the beginning we did the pancetta and we rendered that, and then the soffritto, the nutmeg, you taste it very little. It's very subtle. It's not like overpowering. The milk at the end created like that nice creaminess. The mix of the beef, pork, I think works really well. And the white wine definitely like lightens it up. If you use red wine, it's definitely more bold. And I think you should really try this recipe. I mean, I'm sure there's like a million other recipes for bolognese on the internet, and you could go try those. But if you really want to try something that's unique and that tastes great, follow this one. You're gonna love it. This is probably one of the most controversial recipes on the internet. People are always arguing about what wine, nutmeg, cream, what pasta type, all kinds of different things. And I think the most important thing is you just creating layers of flavor. So if you go in and you make this ragu and you put the thyme in and you let it cook for X amount of time, you give it that, you put that like passion into it, it's gonna be good, right? So this came out great. I hope you guys try this recipe. And if you do, let me know how you like it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.